For sale, buildings across the Great Lakes that have served as beacons for sailors for decades. The federal government has sold or given away about 120 lighthouses across the country since 2000.
To me, this is still based on my grandparents, and I think of roots here.
John SCRIPP was part of a volunteer group who spent about a decade working to take control and fix up the North Point Lighthouse in Milwaukee. It opened to the public in 2007. Since then, more than 80,000 people have come through it.
This was built in 1854. The light was lit in 1855.
But the romanticism of lighthouses doesn't always match up with the realities of aging structures, sometimes in remote waters.
Actually, when we started in the late 80s, we came out here, there was most of the rooms, and especially the ones lower, probably had 2.5 feet of bird poop that we had to shovel out.
The Port Austin Lighthouse in Lake Huron had been abandoned in the 50s, left to scavengers, vandals, and gulls. Volunteers started restoring it in the mid-1980s.
We all never thought more than a year or two ahead that all the projects that we had, and now here we are, 30 years later.
The nonprofit that now owns it expects it will be another 3 years and more than $2 million before they can open it to the public. It's a journey the city of Port Washington is just about to start. The National Park Service recently selected it to become steward of the 81-year-old lighthead.
It's been resounding, and people want this to be locally controlled, locally owned.
The city is waiting on final approval from the U.S. General Services Administration, but plans to soon start fundraising for the expected $1.5 million in repairs, including new windows and exterior painting. The challenge of bringing a lighthouse back to life. Worth it to enthusiasts.
I can see that we'd have this for, coming generations to enjoy. It's a lot better to do this than to have it torn down.
The price of saving a piece of maritime history. Carrie Antelfinger, Associated Press.